It is so hard to make me uncomfortable, but this made me cringe.
The fire's getting started. The fire's getting started. You got just what you wanted. Be careful what you wish for. You knocking on the wrong door. You want that dark side of me? Say hello to Ivy.
Hello, all you ghosts, ghouls, and goblins. I'm Casey Ivy, and this is Hello Ivy, my YouTube channel where I will talk my black girl shit about all things Halloween, horror, and spooky. This is my first YouTube video, y'all, so I am so excited to do this. And my first video, I would like to talk about this movie, The Monkey. Okay, I had been looking forward to it for a little while, and I am really excited to talk about this movie, like way too excited, honestly. So The Monkey was released on February 21st, directed and adapted by Osgood Perkins. And let me tell you, Mr. Perkins, I got my eye on you, okay? Because how dare you make me enjoy a movie so much? I had so much fun watching this movie that it was insane. I went with one of my friends and we were having every single kind of commentary we possibly could. Like, we had the very stereotypical, don't go in there, don't go do that, don't do that, no, they did it, oh my god. And the cringe level of so many of the kills and blood and gore, it was so fun to watch. And it was even better to go watch it in movie theaters where I had people right next to me doing the same thing, had them literally going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, like over and over and over again as things were building to tension in every single scene that we were watching. And the kills were just beautiful and bloody and gory, and I had such a fun time watching this movie. The friend that I went to go see The Monkey with described it as Final Destination with a monkey, and I could not agree more. Not only is The Monkey fantastically gory in all of its killing glory, it's freaking hilarious. If I wasn't gasping at the murders that were happening throughout this movie, I was out loud laughing in the theater, and I was not alone in this. People were laughing, cackling. I'm pretty sure someone had to be boohoo crying with how hilarious this movie is. And it is just such a fun, I cannot say fun enough, movie to watch. The Monkey is actually an adaptation off of Stephen King's The Monkey, so same name, but there are definitely a few changes, a lot of added characters, name changes, and a lot of changes in between both the movies. But I feel like it's still so great to watch this movie, and you got some callbacks, some references. It's going to be a really good time to watch it. Before we really dig into this movie, let me just say this video is going to contain spoilers, okay? So this is your big spoiler alert. All right, I would go watch the movie. If it's still in theaters by the time you're watching this video, go watch it in theaters. And if it's on streaming services, watch it immediately, okay? Watch it before you watch this video, okay? It's a bunch of spoilers. Okay, did you do it yet? Okay, good. So now we can move on. Spoiler alert, done. The Monkey follows twin brothers Hal and Bill, the adult version played by Theo James and the younger version played by Christian Convery. Marvelously done, by the way. And these twin brothers are unpacking their family trauma left behind by their dad. I'm kidding. Kind of. Well, their dad definitely left, and the trauma that he left behind is this grinder monkey that starts killing people once it starts drumming. These poor victims of the monkey, you can't even say it's wrong place, wrong time, because, well, as their mother says, Lois, played beautifully and borderline psychotically by Tatiana Maslany. I really am so sorry if I messed up the last name, but she does a marvelous job playing the mother. She's crazy, she's kooky, but she's also somehow still loving and caring in the best ways. But she says, everybody dies. Some people die gently in their sleep and get to drift off nicely, and others die violently. And we get to see all the violent ways that people can die in this movie. Now, something to note is the monkey kills whoever it wants, okay? You can't say to the monkey, hey, please kill this person, wind it up and it starts drumming, and your target is immediately killed. It kills whoever it wants, however it wants, and don't you dare call it a toy, okay? That is the rule. These people die in the most funny, gory, hilarious ways. It is so fun to watch each of these deaths. Like, there's one death in the first 5 minutes of the movie where this guy gets harpooned and the harpoon retracts, pulling out this man's intestines in a pawn shop. Oh my goodness. I knew I was in for the roller coaster of a lifetime. It was so fun to even just start the movie with this kind of kill. Hats off to you, Mr. Perkins. Like I said, I am a really big fan of this movie. So coming back to what I said about this movie being a beautiful blend between horror and comedy, it had this very nice, like, few moments where you're questioning why the character is doing what they're doing, as in the, like, this is like stereotypical don't do this in a horror movie kind of things, but then also characters making smart choices. So like one of the stupid choices that I definitely had to call out was Bill, when he's younger, going to investigate a light that goes out on the porch. I'm like, you know, people have been dying. You know it's probably connected to this monkey. Why are you investigating anything at this point? Like, people are dropping like flies. Are you trying to be next? Right? It was one of those moments. I'm like, don't go towards that. And that's where I heard that person being like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. For the monkey to then be on the other side of that shadow, I was just like, we done told you. We done told you. But it was a kind of a fake out. The monkey ended up not doing anything at that specific point in time. On the other side of things, you have good old Aunt Ida, played by Sarah Levy. Now, also, just so we get some context here, Aunt Ida and Uncle Chip end up taking in Hal and Bill when they're younger after their mother dies from a boomerang aneurysm. We will talk about that later. Rest in peace, Lois. But she ends up hearing a strange noise in her house when she's living by herself 25 years into the future. And she hears a weird sound coming from wherever in the house. So she's investigating, which kind of technically, yes, is a stupid choice, but it's her house, so I get it. And she's also by herself. She's 25 years older. I get it. But she comes down with a gun. Okay, she doesn't just come down being like, oh, what's going on, blah, blah, with absolutely nothing. She armed herself and she was ready to go. But that smart choice was immediately followed by a dumb choice of putting her face right over a gas pilot because she swears she smells gas in her house and goes up like a candle. The pilot comes on, her head is on fire, and we get to see a beautiful scene of her running through her house with her head on fire, eventually going outside, getting her foot stuck in a vase, which I assume was a memorial vase because her husband dies, Uncle Chip, rest in peace, Uncle Chip as well, with a cameo from Mr. Perkins himself. And she runs outside into a rental post, like a post that is advertising somebody selling the house basically, and it goes straight through her head. So you would think, oh, she done burned, she's gonna die from that. Nope, post through the head. Surprise, surprise. And this movie is full of surprises. We also have some surprise cameos. As I mentioned before, Osgood Perkins makes a cameo as Uncle Chip. You have Elijah Wood making a cameo as Petey's soon-to-be stepdad, and Adam Scott making a cameo as Captain Petey Shelbourne, Hal and Bill's dad. You also have these catch 'em if you can moments that go throughout the movie. Like, prime example is when Barbara, the agent that is trying to sell Aunt Ida's house after she comes to her unfortunate end, Hal and his son Petey go to reclaim some of the items, clean it out before she gets to sell it. And Barbara, played by Tess Degenstein, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is showing them around the house, opens a closet, and gets blown to pieces. One of the shotguns that I'm assuming belonged to Uncle Chip, or maybe Aunt Ida, because like I said, Aunt Ida was packing, so happens to fall out of the closet and boom, blows Barbara to pieces. And what may be next to that shotgun but a embroidered sign saying, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Speaking of surprises, hold on. Hello, Mr. Perkins? Yes, thank you for the callback. Oh my God, let's talk about the callbacks, the callbacks, the callbacks. This movie would literally do so much foreshadowing and callbacks. I didn't know which way was up from down with all of these callbacks that happen in almost every single death that happens throughout this movie. And it is so fun to be able to watch it and see how many you can catch immediately and how many you maybe catch on like a second, third, fourth, 15th watch. It's incorporated into the deaths. There's so many connections and references. It is so cool. It's like an Easter egg hunt throughout the entire movie to see which ones you catch and which ones you don't. Two of my favorite callbacks that I have to mention is one, Barbara, okay? Barbara's talking about how her mom used to say that when airplanes would crash or natural disasters like that would happen, that God is bowling strikes. And then what happens later in the movie when the monkey starts drumming intensely? A plane crash. God was bowling strikes that day. But not just strikes, he ends up decimating that entire town. It's insane. Callback number 2 is the bowling ball. So earlier in the movie, Hal is extremely tired of Bill putting him through all the crap that he has been. He's been bullying him and torturing him and treating him like absolute garbage. And he would keep having fantasies of killing his own brother. So at one point, we get Hal holding a bowling ball over Bill's head while he slept. And he is so fed up and he's like, I hate you. And he drops it. And I was just like, okay, wait a second. There's no way he did this because we still have a whole movie. And sure enough, he didn't, but that was his fantasy. And quite frankly, while I was watching the movie, I didn't think they would show the bowling ball drop. I thought it was going to be another kind of situation where we see his intent, but we don't see it actually happen. But no, they dropped that bad boy and you're like, oh. But then they cut back to him just holding it again. And he was just heavily considering it, but he didn't do it. What happens later? Of course, the big kit and caboodle scene where God is bowling strikes. I actually just realized another connection right then and there. The bowling ball, bowling strikes. Mr. Perkins. Good one. But anyway, Bill and his fortress had set up these traps to basically prevent people from getting to him and his precious monkey, and one of the traps hadn't gone off yet. It had just been set up, and it indeed was a bowling ball. But not only was it a bowling ball, it was Lois's bowling ball. The same bowling ball that Hal was holding over Bill's head, fantasizing of dropping and crushing his skull. But the reference doesn't end there. What happens is the bowling ball gets dropped into a cannon. That cannon blows into Bill's head, flattening it just like Hal had fantasized all these years. When Hal and Petey get to another motel, Petey goes out and comes back with a flyer, one for the theme park that they're supposed to be going to, but also for a place nearby that does skydivings. And he specifically reads out that they do weddings. What happens later is when Bill is trying to force the monkey to drum, it starts drumming as if it was on drumline. And what happens next? 2 bodies fall through the ceiling of where Bill has been staying. And who are they? But a bride and a groom. So remember that boomerang aneurysm that I mentioned? Yeah, we're gonna talk about it right now. It's one of the callbacks. So as Hal and Bill are going through their father's stuff and they find the monkey, one of the things that Bill ends up grabbing is a boomerang. So seeing Bill reach for a boomerang and then the mother, Lois, having a boomerang aneurysm later, come on now. It speaks for itself. This death could have been a callback that I missed on my first watch of this movie, but this was the one that made my skin crawl, me make so uncomfortable in my seat. I'm cringing, I'm flexing, I'm holding my body as tight as I possibly can because of how uncomfortable this kill made me. So you have Thrasher, played by Rohan Campbell, who has this "tonight will be the night that I will fall for you" kind of haircut going on. He ends up getting a mouth full of hornets. Let me set the scene for you. Thrasher is super obsessed with this monkey as well. So he finds Hal at the motel and brings Hal and Petey to where Bill is staying. Has Petey sneak into Bill's fortress, if you will. And when Petey is finally inside, he ends up turning the key for the monkey, which is exactly what Bill wanted him to do. Now, as we see some cuts between Petey turning the key, the other cuts are scenes that are happening outside with Hal and Thrasher. They're sitting in the car, and they notice a hornet's nest is just above them in a tree. Hal says, "Hey, do you want me to back up?" Thrasher's like, "No, it's fine, whatever." Then he has him turn on the brights. The hornets get a little agitated, and he has him turn the lights off again, and they sit there quite impatiently waiting for Petey to come back out, or at least something to happen. I'm pretty sure we all have an assumption on how this is gonna go. The hornet's nest is gonna fall, they're gonna attack both Hal and Thrasher in this car, or it's gonna fall and then they'll be trapped inside the car. But no. No, that is not what happens. Instead, Thrasher somehow gets freaked out and ends up shooting the gun that he used to lure Hal and Petey into the car and to Bill's fortress, and it goes right through the windshield. Luckily, Hal is unharmed, but the hornet's nest is not. And so when the monkey's drumstick finally falls on the drum, we have the hornets blowing through the windshield, through that small caliber hole in the windshield, into Thrasher's mouth. Not one, not 10, the whole dang nest. It had to be hundreds, if not thousands of these hornets going straight into Thrasher's mouth as he just sits there agape and they enter his throat. And this is where the trypophobia happens, okay? So if you haven't seen it already and just so happen to watch this video, shame on you. But here we are watching these hornets go straight down his throat. And when they finally, I guess, find a new nest, they start poking through the sides of his mouth in different holes. And oh my gosh, my skin's crawling just thinking about it. It is so gross and so gory, and I'm beautifully done. But what the, oh. There are even callbacks and references in the lines of the movie itself. For example, earlier, Lois in the movie is talking about Hal and Bill's father, how he made like an egg and scrambled. Later, you have Hal talking to his son Petey, played by Colin O'Brien, as they are taking a trip to a horror park. There's a death that happens at the motel that they're currently staying at. This woman that dives into a pool, gets electrocuted, and bursts. Yes, bursts into body parts. One of the body parts flying over at Hal when he just got off the phone with his brother Bill. Hal witnesses this death and immediately is like, let's get the out of here. And what he does is when he gets so frustrated with Petey not getting up and moving, he yells at him, we need to make like an egg and scramble. The way I laughed out loud hearing that, the whole theater probably was mad at me. Or maybe not. We were all laughing our butts off at that point. Let's talk about the monkey itself for a little bit. The design of this monkey is absolutely creepy in all of the beautiful, best ways. The eyes are glassed over, but yet somehow still bloodshot. The way the lips peel back as it smiles and grins to expose its teeth. And in the short story, it says that it's a monkey with cymbals, but I really love the fact that they switched it to drums. The drumming made it much more intense because drumming is like a heartbeat, and once it stops drumming, so does heartbeats. So I think that was a very good design choice to switch it over to the drum, and I absolutely adored it. But this creature looks creepy. As we're talking about the monkey design, I also want to give a shout out to whoever on the production team decided that they were going to get a shot, our POV, of the monkey's POV of the drum going up and down. It was honestly one of my favorite shots of the entire movie. Aside from the blood, aside from the gore, aside from all the gosh darn kills that's in this movie, that single 4 or 5 second shot was beautifully done. I absolutely loved it. It made the creep factor go up by 10. And then on the other note, aside from the design, I think it has its own little backstory. And maybe I'm just the one who's digging for a little bit of backstory, because your girl loves a good backstory. But I think the monkey was deliberately targeting a specific type of family. So let's look at all the comparisons between these two families. The first family that we see that comes into contact with the monkey that, well, the monkey targets is Hal and Bill's family. Hal and Bill come from a broken home. Their dad is completely gone. Mom is eccentric. She cares in her own way, but for the most part she's absent and keeps pawning them off on babysitters. Hal and Bill are twins, and their father is a uniformed professional, being an air pilot. Bill, being the older brother of the two, is a complete bully to his younger brother Hal, and Bill is also the one who becomes obsessed with the monkey. On an even more intricate note, Hal also takes on a semi-uniform job where he becomes a cashier at a grocery store. His uniform isn't as detailed, just being a vest, but nonetheless, it's still a uniformed job. Let's look at Thrasher's family. Thrasher becomes obsessed with the monkey, so let's break it all down. Thrasher also comes from a broken family. His dad is gone, and Thrasher is also a twin. In a few scenes, we get to see his twin brother, Ricky, in a full uniform. Camo suit, camo outfit with a camo hat. You can also say that Ricky and Hal were both kind of passive, so I'm assuming that they were both the younger brothers of the two, whereas the older brothers, another connection, are very aggressive in the way that they live life. They're big bullies and they are just kind of rebels to society, but not in a good way. Even their aesthetic between Thrasher and Bill are also very similar. You have this rocker emo haircut on Thrasher, and you have this weird kind of mullet style on Bill. They both wear black for a majority of their outfit. Thrasher in his rebel coat, basically, if you will, and Bill in his death suit that he upgraded with, I want to say, a flame corset. So their aesthetic and personalities very much match. Now let's move over to moms. Thrasher's mom, played by Janet Kidder, isn't really shown much, but she is also very not caring about the kids. In fact, she just smokes and doesn't really say much about anything throughout her scenes in the movie. I will say Lois did care a bit more about her kids than Janet probably does, but I digress. You also have both of their dads working in uniformed positions. Hal and Bill's dad was an air pilot, and Thrasher and Ricky's dad was an officer. As Thrasher mentions at one point in the car, he hates cops because he hates his dad. Both of the older brothers become sincerely obsessed with this monkey, and to a further degree, they both try to get the monkey back after letting it go. With Bill, he lets Hal throw it down the well, where Thrasher just gave it to Bill, but then he wants it back. You know, now that I'm saying this out loud, this clearly has to be intentional, but I do very much think that this is the monkey's intentional choice to target these families and these family dynamics. This monkey might be more sentient than we were even led to believe, and quite frankly, that makes it even more terrifying. So as I go through my videos and I go through my reviews of movies, content, and books, everything under the sun, I'm gonna have my own little rating scale, and it's called the Ivies. So it'll be a 1 out of 5 Ivies, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the monkey, Mr. Perkins, gets a 5 out of 5 Ivies. It's fun, it's gory, it's hilarious, the kills are beautiful, and I am a girl for creative kills, okay? I was a big fan, am a big fan of the Saw series, so I love the intricacy of kills and being very different and weird and funky and all the, this probably couldn't happen, but now it's putting the thought in your head that maybe it could, because life is crazy, and just like Lois said, you can die in a very violent way. So I'm gonna wrap it up on the monkey, because if I kept talking about the monkey, we'd be here for hours. And quite frankly, I like to sleep, so I can't be here for hours talking about this movie. But it's great, it's fun. If you haven't watched it and watched this video, please go watch the movie. And if you watched the movie, I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did. And you can feel free to contact me at my Instagram, Hello Ivy. That's H3LLO_IVY. Okay, you got it? You can rewind it if you didn't catch it the first time. And you can message me and tell me what you thought about the monkey, because I would love to see what you caught, what you didn't catch, or even some things that you really, really enjoyed about it. Let me know. I would love to know. Like, subscribe, you know, all the good stuff. I'll catch you next time. Stay alive till I see you then. Say bye to Ivy.
The fire's getting started.
The fire's getting started.
You got just what you wanted. Be careful what you wish for. You knocking on the wrong door. You want that dark side of me? Say hello to Ivy. Who's next?